If you understand the software sales fundamentals, then you will be able to close deals, make more money, earn those promotions, and live that dream life you visualize for yourself each and every day because of all the hard work you put in. I'm sitting in a conference room, lights out, about 7:17 p.m. in the evening. Today's video is going to be a bit more technical, but it's going to be packed with value because I have marked up the whiteboard behind me to talk about exactly how you run a software sales cycle, beginning with initial meeting, discovery, solution presentation, and then close, negotiation, working with procurement, legal. I'm going to share everything I've learned based on working my way from a mid-level account executive to a senior account executive. I've closed over $1 million in revenue. And one of my most recent videos, I talked about the pros and cons of working as an account executive in software sales. I actually did a $50 giveaway, and Javier, you are the winner because you commented, you liked the video, and you're subscribed to the channel. So message me on LinkedIn. I'll PayPal you, Venmo you, whatever is most convenient. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you enjoy my content, I want you to go check out Sales Prestige. It's my second YouTube channel. It just became monetized, and it's my podcast. It's gonna be the first link in the description below. I just put out a new episode, and I really wanna get bigger guests so that I can provide you guys more value. So go there, show that channel some love, subscribe, go like the recent video, go listen to it, and let me know what you think in the comments over there as well. Look, as we think about the software sales fundamentals, you can never get bored of the basics, of the dribbling, of the blocking and tackling. In a recent interview with a performance coach, he talked about going to see Kobe Bryant. He had the opportunity to see Kobe Bryant at a basketball camp, and he said, "Kobe, I want to go watch you practice." And Kobe said, "No problem. I'll see you at the gym at 4 tomorrow." He's like, "Okay, I'll see you at 4. Kobe's like, "Yeah, 4 a.m. And this is the offseason. This is after Kobe had already won multiple championships. He's on top of the world. The guy shows up, the performance coach, and he says, "I'm gonna show up early. I'm gonna impress Kobe." He shows up 30 minutes early. Kobe's already in the gym, literally at like 3:30 a.m. dribbling balls, and he says, this guy is crazy. He observes Kobe during his workout, and Kobe doesn't even use a basketball for the first half of the workout. And the performance coach couldn't believe it because he said, "Kobe Bryant, I want to see some cool shots. I'm sure he'd be doing all these world-class moves." So he asked Kobe after the workout, he said, "Kobe, you didn't even touch a ball. What were you thinking?" He says, "You can never get bored of the fundamentals." He's working on his footwork, and being that he never gets tired of those, that's how he stays world-class. And that's why this video today is so important. As we think about initial meeting, that is the first step to any software sales deal cycle. I've made dozens, if not hundreds of videos on this channel about top of funnel, prospecting, cold calling, cold emailing, territory planning, account planning. You can go watch, I have a playlist about how to modern prospecting strategies that you can go listen to how I set meetings. When you set that initial meeting, I will show up and I'm gonna run the meeting and I'm gonna try and qualify the meeting. So you may be thinking, how do you qualify a meeting and what do you actually do and say? So there's two frameworks that I apply to every initial qualifying meeting. The first framework is MEDIC, which stands for metric, economic buyer, decision criteria, decision process, identify pain, champion, compelling event. I'm going to talk about each one of these briefly and some example questions you can ask. The second framework is command of the message. What that means is it's almost a puzzle, and how can you put together the pieces? It means, what is the before scenario? What are you doing today? What are the negative consequences? What would you like to change about that solution? The after scenario, how would you like this program to work? And the positive business outcomes. As a result of this program, how is this going to impact and improve your business? I have it memorized because in order for me to ramp up as an account executive, I didn't ever run a deal before. And I was nervous. I was worried, is my success as a sales development rep going to translate to life as an account executive? So I had to put in the work and I had to memorize what all this meant so that I could go into calls, and rather than worrying about asking questions, I'm actively listening with the intent to ask these questions right here. As I get into these two frameworks, I do want to preface that before any initial meeting with a potential customer, what I'm doing is I'm going in my CRM, my Salesforce, I'm looking at the prospect, I'm looking, have they ever spoken with my company before? Has anyone at their company spoken with my company before? What industry are they? What is the context as to why we were having the call? Did they reach out to us? Did we reach out to them? And I look at their LinkedIn and company website as well, because I'm trying to find tidbits or insights during the call that I can just subtly include in and say, yeah, well, I read on your LinkedIn page that you actually manage the Insights program. And this is how we think about that. And they're automatically thinking, wow, this guy really did his prep. I'm gonna be more attentive and receptive to his messaging. So that's how I prepare. And then when I show up to the meeting, this is the outline I'm following. So I wanna begin with MEDDIC. And we just covered the acronym right there. Anytime I qualify an opportunity in my internal system, I'm expected to fill out MEDDIC. If you do not understand one of these acronyms and you cannot clearly explain how is the customer's business reflected in these puzzle pieces, then you have no chance of quantifying value or ever winning a deal. So when we think about metric, how would you measure success of this program? Typically comes back to making more money, saving money, mitigating risk. You need to understand how they will measure success so that you can build value around it. ROI, when people talk about recession, that means budget's tighten, it becomes harder to sell. So you need to be clear about the ROI. And the only way you can understand that is how do you measure success? What is the metric you care about? Next, economic buyer. This is one of the biggest missed opportunities of reps, including myself. You'll be working a sales cycle. You'll be working with the director level. And then you think they can get the deal done. All of a sudden you figure out their boss is the person who makes the decision. And it's that person's boss who actually signs the contract. You've gotten to the end of the deal and you haven't spoken with either of them because you never asked who the economic buyer was. Who will be signing this contract? That will tell you a lot, and you need to figure out how do you gain influence of that person. And it's much easier said than done, but you need to be asking the tough questions so that you can really get to the root of how you're gonna actually win these deals. Next, D, decision criteria. How will you make a decision on partner? What is most important to you? This is technical requirements in a way. So when we think about selling software, we want to think about solution selling versus feature selling, but you need to understand the features that are going to help them recognize the business outcomes they care about. That's why you need to ask, how will you make a partnership decision? What requirements are most important in your ideal program? What do you like about your program today? So you can understand that. What would you like to be a part of that program today? Understand what they want to see so that you can keep articulating the value around, well, hey, this is how we help you with that. That's what you said is important. Boom, let's do it. Next, decision process. How will we get this deal done? Now that we know who is the economic buyer, who will be signing, how do we get this done? The decision process. Do you need to take this to a committee? Does the committee need to provide a recommendation to the CEO? Does the CEO need to go to the board? What is the decision process? And sometimes they won't know, but you really need to understand how they would go about actually signing your contract if you're ever going to earn the business. Ask the tough questions. Next, identify pain. This is really important. This is one of the most important aspects of MEDDIC, because if you don't understand why now, why would they switch, then you have no shot of winning, because if they don't really have pain with their existing solution, why would they justify additional cost to, and also the change management of even thinking about buying your solution? So you need to identify the pain. Next, champion. Are you speaking with a true champion, somebody that is going to advocate on your behalf internally and really push, or are they a cheerleader? Somebody that waves the pom-poms to you, but can never actually drive anything internally. Really important to understand if the person you're speaking with has any influence, the political capital across the organization, how do they go about getting things done? So this is a feel thing that comes with experience, but you need to be able to understand, are they a true champion or not? Finally, compelling event. This is the most important aspect of MEDDIC. Why would you buy now? Why would you switch? Why is this important? The compelling event as to why you're gonna order pizza is because you're hungry. You're hungry, that's the compelling event. How would you measure success? Well, I want a pepperoni pizza. Okay, what are the decision criteria? I want it to be here fast. Okay, who is the champion? I am. What is the metric? It arrives in less than 30 minutes. So you can start to think about this, and I'm gonna start going a bit faster. And I know this video is technical, but I want to make sure it's as relevant as possible. So it's going to take me a bit to get through this, but I'm going to go as deep as I can in all these items in a timely manner to get you what you need. So command of the message, we briefly covered that. It comes down to what is the before scenario? How are they going about this program today? What are the negative consequences? What about this program is not working well? After scenario, how would you like this program to be? And positive business outcomes. So basically, how would you measure success? So there's some similarities between command and message and MEDDIC. Those are the two frameworks I use to run the initial meeting and also into the discovery call as well, because you need to understand and be able to fill out these different components, or you'll never be able to win the big deals. And this is something I've really struggled with, because if you can't communicate to their business why it matters to their business, this is how you communicate to their business. So you may be thinking, but Trent, this doesn't matter, I don't care. These are the fundamentals. This is the footwork like Kobe Bryant. So if you truly want to be great, you got to understand this like the back of your hand. It really is that important. What we have written down on this board right here: business objective, current situation, required capabilities, success metrics, overview of my solution, and then customer journey. How are they going to get something like this done? So there's a lot of similarities between what we have in discovery and what we're looking to do in the initial meeting. So you really need to do both of these simultaneously while also offering value to the customer. Because at this point you may be thinking, well, Trent, am I just going in and asking questions, trying to understand this? That is the role of a salesperson, to understand this, to ask the hard questions, to ask the right questions, and also add a ton of value throughout the process. Because by doing so, it's gonna allow you to continue to progress the deal to a demonstration of solution presentation. A couple pro tips is, think about the first time you tried to learn how to demo. It was incredibly overwhelming. Now imagine being a prospect who was just seeing your solution for the first time. They're thinking, man, this is cool, but I don't really understand it. So rather than going through the motions and just showing the same thing every time, based on your unique understanding of their decision criteria, their pain, what's important, you can build a custom solution presentation around what specific benefits will they recognize as a result of your solution. Is it allowing them to recognize program efficiency because it saves time? Is it allowing them to make better decisions so that they can save money? What is the outcome that they're trying to drive? And then how can you uniquely show how your solution will help them get there? Whenever you crush the demo, you're finally gonna be into the pricing negotiation. So throughout the sales cycle, the customer is wondering, how much does this cost? How are we gonna get it done? And based on the decision process, there may be procurement that's gonna come in and negotiate you. There may be additional steps to try and get this done. So you really need to understand what is the scope so that you can provide them a recommendation with absolute conviction. They wanna be told how to buy it. They don't want you to go through the motions and hope they say, yeah, let's do it. Tell them with conviction, this is exactly what you need, this is what's gonna cost, this is how we're gonna get it done. So that's how I think about presenting pricing and making sure that I'm also talking about, hey, these are the services, this is the support that's gonna set you up for success. Whenever they eventually select you and say, you are the vendor of choice, here's where the work really begins, because there's most likely gonna be a legal to security review. There's gonna be some sort of service order, red lines on the actual terms of service contract. And then finally, there might be procurement as well. All of my big deals, 80K and above, this is what I've struggled with. I get the vendor of choice, meaning they say, I want you. And then in your mind, you think, okay, work's done, I got it. In reality, you send them the contract and it can take months from that point, especially for these large software sales deals. So in order to mitigate risk around that, you need to understand all of this right here. So I would encourage you to take a screenshot, go back, rewatch the video, take some notes on MEDDIC and command of the message. Let me know in the comments what specific follow-up questions you have. And if you'd like to participate in a coaching call led by me, press the join button down below right next to the subscribe button. It's access to my private membership community. We have over 57 members right now. You'll get entered into our members Discord, ability to communicate with everyone. And we also have a weekly live coaching call led by me. So if you have any questions, I can go much deeper during that live call than I can in the comments, but I'm still happy to answer any questions you have in the comments. If you found value in today's video, hit the like button now, comment any emoji that's green to represent my Green Ohio University shirt down below for the algorithm. And you know our channel goal is 15,000 subscribers. So subscribe now if you're not already, and also go subscribe to Sales Prestige Podcast. I'd really appreciate it. It will help me get bigger guests to deliver you guys more value, entertainment. And that's why I do it each and every day. And that's why I'm still in the office late in the evening. Have a great rest of your day and weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.